Hi! Welcome back to Recap Storyteller. Today, I will recap a psychological thriller film from 2013 titled After the Dark. Please watch and enjoy. The movie begins with Petra and James waking up together. Petra hurries to go to class, but James decides to stay in bed and ends up oversleeping. He gets late and runs through the city to make it to his philosophy class. When he gets to the class, Mr. Zimmett at first doesn't want to let him in, but eventually opens the door. Mr. Zimmett is the philosophy teacher who has been challenging his students with thought exercises all year to prepare them for their future. Today was the last day of school. Mr. Zimmett decides that they will do one last thought exercise before the school year ends. For this exercise, the class must pretend that there is an impending atomic apocalypse and imagine they have a bunker that will give them shelter for a year. Zimmett begins narrating the scene to help everyone use their imaginations. He describes an area surrounded by nuclear explosions. As Zimmett walks them through an imaginary tour of the bunker place, he points out the problem that there are enough supplies for only 10 people. The class has 20 students in it, so they have to decide which of them to let in and who gets eliminated. Also, that there isn't much time to decide before the atomic radiation reaches them. Suddenly, Petra refuses to participate and decides to leave. Zimmett knows that she's always had perfect grades, so instead, Zimmett threatens to lower her boyfriend, James's grades. This gives Petra no choice but to stay. Then, Zimmett distributes cards containing the random professions that each student will have in the exercise. Now the student finds out what professions they got. The jobs vary in themes, from harpist to farmer to astronaut to chemist. Toby reveals he's a poet, but before he can finish talking, Zimmett shoots him, revealing that Zimmett took the gun from the bunker. Zimmett explains that Toby wouldn't get into the bunker anyway because a poet isn't useful when humanity must be rebuilt. Zimmett also explains that his profession is hidden in the exercise, so he will be seen as a wild card. After that, each student defends their right to enter the bunker and they vote. The first choices are those who are considered useful for survival, like Petra as a structural engineer, James as a farmer, Georgina as an orthopedic surgeon, Chips as a carpenter, Jack as a chemist, Bonnie as the soldier, and Andy as the electrician. There are also 9 that quickly gets eliminated for not being useful, like Vivian the zoologist, Beatrice the fashion designer, and Parker the gelato maker. But the last place must be chosen between Zimmett and Utami the opera singer. Petra feels a wild card is a risk, but Jack feels that an opera singer is a luxury and he'd rather risk it with Zimmett, who may have a secret. They pick Zimmett and now the group is completed. Suddenly, they hear some gunshots and realizes Zimmett has killed everyone who didn't get a spot, again saying it was the humane thing to do. This leaves the group shocked, and Petra tells James that she doesn't want Zimmett in the bunker anymore. James makes a plan and asks everyone to gather some plants before going into the bunker. Then, James goes to each of them in turn and tells them of his plan. When the time comes, the group enters the bunker and disables the external keypad before closing the door and leaving Zimmett outside. Then, they take a look around different rooms, including an artificial garden, a bed, a gym, some books, and other things to avoid possible depression. In the evening, when everyone is sleeping on the beds, Petra goes to check on Zimmett. She finds him slowly getting hurt by radiation. Suddenly, Zimmett shows a paper saying he's the only one with the exit code. Petra calls the group and they argue about trusting Zimmett. Eventually, they decide to not believe him. They ignore him and spend a year in the bunker. It gets very boring and they struggle to find things to do. Over the year, they check Zimmett's decaying body. Sometimes a dog eats it. After a year, they want to leave but need a code. They try but fail to open the door. They run out of supplies and decide to end their lives. In class, Zimmett reveals that they have failed because he's the bunker builder who knows the code. The students want to try again, so Zimmett grabs a gun and Petra notices. The cards now have a secret second trait affecting votes. This time, James is gay but accepted for farming. Surgeon Georgina has Ebola, who isn't accepted. Plum, a fund manager, is accepted. A skilled carpenter, Chips, is infertile but accepted. Petra, an engineer, is saved. Sick electrician Andy is rejected. Therapist Poppy isn't accepted. Gelato maker Parker lacks traits, so he's not chosen. Singer Utami is rejected due to throat issues. Smart wine seller Mitzi isn't accepted, designer Beatrice isn't chosen, soldier Bonnie with memory is saved, housekeeper Nelson is accepted, and poet Toby is shot by Zimmit. Georgina, who isn't accepted, gets the truck keys, but when the others try the truck, it explodes. Then, the chosen people reach the bunker. Petra finds James with Jack, who is gay in real life. Petra is upset and quickly goes to tell the rest of the group about what she saw. Now, they decide it's time to talk about how they will come together to have babies. Chips doesn't need to help because he can't have babies. Jack and James say that they won't join in because they can't pretend with a woman to have babies. Bonnie and Kavi are paired together, and so are Omosede and Nelson. To get back at her boyfriend, Petra agrees to do it with Zimmit. While explosions outside damage the planet, the three couples become intimate at the same time. After 10 weeks without anyone getting pregnant, Zimmit suggests that they should change partners. He thinks the girls should have more than one partner. Bonnie disagrees and says they're using logic too much and not considering her feelings. Zimmit leaves and comes back with a gun, threatening everyone except Bonnie to leave the room. The group runs out, but Jack hides. When Zimmit is distracted, Jack tackles him and he drops the gun. Bonnie picks up the gun and points it at Zimmit. The guys continue to fight, but Zimmit overpowers Jack. Jack fights back by stabbing Zimmit in the ear with a pen. Zimmit goes to the front door and opens it, taking everyone down. The group didn't succeed in the exercise. James gets more suspicious and asks Zimmit why they're doing this exercise. He noticed Zimmit acting strangely when giving roles to him and Petra. Suddenly, James takes a box from the desk and runs away. Opening it, he finds hidden parts and their cards changed. This means they were always meant to have the same roles, gay farmer and double engineer. Wondering why Zimmit dislikes him, James questions. Zimmit talks about Plato's cave story. A chained man mistakes shadows and echoes for reality. James relates this to his situation. Zimmit could have given him a useless role, but making him a gay farmer was intentional suffering. At that moment, Petra jumps into the argument and strongly suggests that they should try the exercise again, but this time with James acting as a florist. Their imaginations take them to a peaceful island where there's no apocalypse. Zimmit, as usual, heads to the bunker to get a weapon, and though he hears a noise, he doesn't think too much of it. After returning outside, Petra joins him and offers a comforting hug, acknowledging the challenges he's been facing. After this, Petra asks everyone to trust her and let her decide who should be allowed into the bunker. She explains her plan and everyone agrees to this. Petra starts making her choices and gives the reasons for each one. As the chosen ones enter the bunker, the rest of the group gathers in the classroom, united as a team. Throughout this process, Zimmit has been expressing dissatisfaction, gradually reducing Petra's grade. However, seeing what he considers as less capable individuals entering the bunker causes him to lose control. He becomes desperate and tries to grab his gun. However, Petra had taken the gun earlier when she hugged him but returns it to him, unloaded. She hands him 2 bullets, expressing her desire to spare him from suffering like before. Just as tensions rise, it's revealed that James had been the source of the noise in the bunker all along, armed with a rifle. Zimmit, in a bid to save himself, claims that only he knows the exit code to the bunker. However, Bonnie reveals that she secretly memorized the code during the previous run due to her exceptional memory. With his plans failed and feeling defeated, Zimmit decides to leave the scene. Petra asks Bonnie to join, but Bonnie refuses and Chips goes instead. James, not gay this time, invites Petra, but she declines. Petra wants to escape danger by boat, but Chips has the boat keys. Chips puts Petra in the boat swiftly before the door closes. The rest hurry to the boat to leave the island. Petra shares the story of the thought exercise. They had fun in the bunker, playing cards, drinking wine, performing Shakespeare, and creating poems. James confesses his love for Petra. They make music with broken machines. A year later, they exit the bunker and learn the bombs never came. Zimmit fears they'll die as they don't know how to survive. Petra believes they'll be happy and prepared for death. Suddenly, a rocket falls on the beach. James is ready to explode it, but Zimmit stops him. Zimmit found a safe place and survived there for a year. Zimmit doesn't want them to end humanity, so he threatens James. The others stand in front of James to protect him, and they press the button to explode the bomb. The island blows up. Back in class, Zimmet is embarrassed about the exercise. Chips offers his own version where he and the girl survive. The group wonders about the other guys, and Chips says they had accidents. Chips plan to be with a different girl each day. Zimmet finishes the class and Petra stays behind. She accuses Zimmet of using the exercise to hurt James. Zimmet and Petra were having a secret relationship, and Zimmet doesn't think James is good enough for Petra. Petra says love is important and defends James. She kisses Zimmet and leaves. Zimmet is now alone in the school and he takes out a gun, and a gunshot is heard in the building. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content. See you in the next video.